Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Okay, this video is, let me get the exact title. You probably have more food in your cupboards than you think. So what happened was today I wanted to buy, I was at Walmart anyway. It was super irritating. They charged me twice for some bird food, so I have to go back over there at a very inconvenient time, because when you get a refund you have to be there by 5 o'clock, and I live in 2 towns over, so that is super irritating. But anyway, that is what happened. So while I was over there, you know, I think it was Monday, I did some dollar shopping, and I thought, while I'm there, let me look for, while I'm at Walmart, let me look for some dollar stuff for next week. Okay, here is some fried bread. Last night, if you saw the video, I made cottage cheese. I'm having smaller meals. I think I like it better. I don't think veganism is going to work for me. A lot of times, so you just want a soft dough so you can fry it. A lot of times when you eat less meat, you might start eating more carbs, which is probably okay, but I have not been a carb eater all my life, so for me it really tastes horrible. So see how I have a nice soft dough? The whey makes the best fried bread. So I'm going to be talking about bread. Okay, think about bread, which is made out of wheat, and then think about rice, which is, you know, made out of rice. So you might be thinking rice is a lot cheaper. The Bible talks about in the end of days, it will cost 1 day's wage for a loaf of bread. But actually, wheat is not more expensive than rice. It's bad news if there's a shortage in either one of those. At the pantry that I went to, somebody goes, why do you keep talking about that? Who cares? If you need the food, you might care. Like when you started getting good and broke and no food in the house. So what does that mean? That means stock up on a little food now. Could something like that happen? Yeah, it happened. You guys saw it right here on my channel. I can see why somebody would say that. Why think about it? Worry about that when the time comes. I don't think that's a good idea. Okay, so think about bread. So you need flour and an easy bread recipe so you'll never run out. Maybe some of you don't like eating stale bread. I can do it myself. I don't prefer to do it, but I can do it. It won't kill me. Okay, so now I want to make a tasty little salad. I'm not going vegan because I don't think I like it. But less meat, because I noticed that I was like gobbling from eating that meat, and so I mean eating a lot of meat. It tasted good when I gobbled it the first night, but after about three days of it, it really wasn't good any more than the high carb. So these fry breads are enough for just one meal with some tea. Where's my tea? I made this peppermint tea yesterday. I'm really glad I saved it so I can drink it tonight. So, okay, so you probably have more food in your house than you think you do. That's a good situation. This is something we want to pursue. Okay, for the fry bread, 1 cup flour. So just start out with a standard bag and then work up till you get a big bag. 1/2 tablespoon baking powder, and a half a tablespoon baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then you can either use 1 cup of hot water or 1 cup of whey. So you guys saw me make the cottage cheese, and I had apples. That was actually a pretty good meal. I had a baked sweet potato and a bowl of cottage cheese. So in a way, is it better to, I noticed they gave us dairy at the food pantry. Is it better to substitute dairy for meat? Only on the condition that you don't have any. I think a small, oh, these are turning out good tonight. A small portion of meat, around 4 or 5 ounces, maybe 6 ounces for men. Or depending on if you're a woman, what kind of work you do. You know, some women, like out here in California, they do construction, you know, heavy work. Okay, now let me see. All right. So I bought a ham steak. Here it is. And I cut it in 6 pieces. So this is 50 cents worth of ham. So I am going to make a tasty ham and cheese sandwich, just using whatever I have in the house. And then I'm going to have some fried bread. And so here's the recipe. We've gone over it hundreds of times on my channel. I would get this recipe if I was you guys. I would get this recipe if it was me. We'll go into the stockpiling in a minute. Okay, now I want to give you the biscuit recipe. Okay, it took me a long time to find this biscuit recipe. 1 cup flour, a teaspoon baking powder, a 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon sugar, a 1/2 teaspoon salt. Then take your pastry cutter and cut it in so that the butter is incorporated. Don't maul it, but just cut it in. 3 tablespoons butter, and then add 1/2 cup buttermilk. Save a little to rush on the top. Bake 400 for, well, just keep your eye on it, 30 minutes. This is all, if you don't have, you can use whey. You can add a little lemon juice or vinegar to your milk and make your own buttermilk. The best milk for this kind of stuff is evaporated milk. All right, so now I want to cut my ham in some tasty little pieces. And I mentioned to you guys, a lot of things, good things came from going to the food pantry. I watch a couple channels that have kind of a good approach to it. And don't be too lofty. We don't know exactly what's going on. We could be on the brink, okay, and then I have some good cheese. We could be on a brink of a currency collapse or some kind of depression or some kind of war or some kind of grid down situation. It's hard to say. We have still several months of President Biden. So I bought this really good cheese. I try to find $8.99 cheese for $2. It tastes so much better. So, so even though I'm eating a salad, it's got enough meat and cheese. I like to eat meat and cheese sandwiches too, as well. This good cheese is the best. I'll be looking for some of that this week. Tomorrow I think I'll go to Ralph's. I think it was last week I got a lot of nice stuff marked down. It was on a Friday. So, I want to check that out. So my dough is really, really soft, and that's what I like to do is eat. I don't mind eating carbs, but today I was eating a bowl of cereal, box cereal, and I had oatmeal when I first got home from the gym. And I thought, yeah, that's okay, but not as a general rule. Okay, so it's very hot. Okay, so I'm going to be eating the food down in my house. So I bought this salad kit marked down $183. How much was this salad kit? It was I don't know how much it was. I bought it at Ralph's. I can get better, cheaper food at Ralph's almost than anywhere. And then you have these, but mainly what I want. So I just want about a cup of lettuce. I don't like too much lettuce. Okay, I grew this tomato. So I really wanted to leave it another day, but I thought, no, you cannot leave it. Something bad is going to happen. Okay, my son had rabbits eating the pomegranates in the front yard, and the reason he knew it is because it was surveilled. Okay, I don't know how this tomato is going to be because the tomato was kind of already on the vine when I bought it. I think it's going to be okay. Let's see. So we'll have some cheese. This could be on a sandwich. I think I want to cut carbs. I feel better. Okay, and then I made, this is homemade, these were zucchini pickles. And I bought the zucchinis marked down. So, I need a big spoon. Well, I just have to do the best I can. So these, I'm going to be pickling and canning. It's not that hard. Okay, can you guys see this? Okay. Now, what is in here? Looks like some kind of croutons. What is this? Oh, it's some, I use the cheese another day. I don't really need it. But the croutons will be good. Uh-oh, I better turn my bread. The fried bread's turning out really good tonight. The more you make this, the better you're going to get at making it. And you're never going to run out of bread because you're always going to have flour in the house. And one for tomorrow when I get home from the gym. I think I like this better than oatmeal. I'm not a big oatmeal fan myself. Let's see, did I forget anything? Lettuce, tomatoes, cucumbers, ham, cheese, and boiled eggs. Uh-oh, no boiled eggs. I forgot the boiled eggs. That's okay, I don't really need them, but they would have been good. So, this is not, I really didn't know that 2 small pieces of pizza were 1,050 calories. So this bread is probably not too low in calories, but I think it's maybe better because all right, here we go. All right, now, okay, now just a minute, where was I? The food is kind of disruptive, but this is, okay, so you probably have more food in your cupboards than you think. So the plan was I was gonna buy a little food for next week, and I was gonna put it in a little box, and then Monday, Saturday is when I like to go and do the food shopping. And so I was going to get a little food today at Walmart, and I thought, wow, you have plenty of food at the house to go with this. And something got all over my cans. All right. So you can buy a few items and then combine with the food you already have. Okay, I found this vegetable oil for $10 at Walmart. I think 3 of them last me for a year, so we'll see. Okay, the first thing I bought was this Alfredo mix, and they say this is one serving size. So if it was, that would be a huge meal. So I bought that, and it was $1.34. So I try to stay as close to $1. And you can put mushrooms and ham. You can put tuna. You can put shrimp. At Ralph's, they have it looks like about 16 ounces of shrimp. That would be good. Then I bought 1 can of pork and beans for $1.08, 3.5 servings. So what I like to make with this is baked beans with either bacon or ham or hamburger. Then I bought a can of mushrooms for $1.08. Okay, and what I can do with those is I can put them in some spaghetti with cheese or hamburger. So that is nice. Then I bought 1 can of evaporated milk. Okay, in the day when recipes called for cream, they just use evaporated milk. And I'm going to give you some vegetable recipes, so that is going to come in handy, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, then what? The evaporated milk was $1.28, the Walmart brand. That was a pretty good deal. Okay. Then I went into my stockpile, and I thought I want to get 3 vegetables out for vegetable meals. The first one was 1 can of cream corn, 3.5 servings, 1 can of green beans, 1 can of peas. You guys have seen me make pea soup a lot. 1 can of chicken, cream of chicken or cream of mushroom, and one box of oysters. Okay, now for low-cost meat, it would be hot dogs or pork sausages, tuna. I bought chicken dinos, bacon. I bought cooked chicken at Ralph's, and I just tore it up. It's in the freezer. Bacon, and then I have salad, and I could have eggs, tuna, or grilled cheese sandwich with that, lunch meat and cheese, peanut butter, and jam. And then I have frozen pizza and pasta. Okay, so basically they're saying wheat is a little bit cheaper than rice. I told you the story many times about this girl that went to Mexico and things got very bad and she didn't have any food. And an old man came up to her and said, your daughter is starving. He gave her a bag of beans and a bag of rice, but no cornmeal. So you want to stockpile, no matter what, flour and cornmeal. Cornmeal so you can make tortillas or cornbread. Potatoes, you can make potato pancakes, tomato soup, potato soup, we'll get into that. Oatmeal, you can make oat milk, you can make granola, you can make oatmeal. And I want to mention something I learned about the garden. They say from 1 year to the next, to protect your soil, cover it with a cardboard box. I told you I thought part of the problem was my soil, and it really shouldn't have been, because it was new soil that I got off the mountain by my house. So then after that dismal failure, I bought dirt. And I'm probably going to do mostly above ground. I have some stuff planted, but I had another celery, and I planted it right next to my celery plant that was doing well, and something ate it. My son had rabbits eating the pomegranates. You wouldn't believe it, except for the rabbits were surveilled. Okay, now. All right, let's start out with the green beans. Creamy green bean and potato soup. 3 cups green beans and 1 tablespoon of baking powder. Baking soda. Cover the green beans and cook them, but I use canned. 1 1/2 cups peeled potatoes, but I just cook a potato. I cover the potato and I cook it. So as many potatoes as you want. 1/3 cup melted butter and 1/2 cup diced onions. So what I do is I use a pat of butter or bacon grease and dry onions. 1 can cream of chicken soup. Here we have cream of chicken. And 3 cups milk. If you use evaporated milk, it'd be 1/2 and 1/2. What I do is when I cook the potatoes, this is like what I do when I make potato soup. I add just enough water to cover the potatoes. Then when they're very soft, I add enough evaporated milk so it's equal with the amount of water. And then salt and pepper. So here is this. So this is why we're getting into, this is going to make a nice big pot of food. What you can do is you can start serving this on the side and get a little bit used to eating it, so that if you ever had to eat it, you wouldn't just be dying of hatred. If you're hungry, you won't be. All right, here's the way I usually make it. I cook 1 potato with dry onion and garlic powder. I like this idea of the soup. Green beans, and then I cook that down quite a while. And I have salt, pepper, and a pat of butter, and then bacon. This is the way I always make it, but I like this new recipe a lot. So, okay, so that's the first. Now let me give you the cream style corn chowder. All right. Okay. Mushroom and corn soup, 2 slices bacon, 1 medium onion chopped. So you would saute that in a little olive oil. The onion is approximately 1/2 cup. 1 can cream of corn. Here it is. 1 can cream of mushroom, or I have cream of celery too. In either of these 2 recipes, it could be any kind of cream soup. and 1 can milk. In a saucepan, fry bacon until crisp, remove and drain, add onion to bacon drippings in saucepan, cook and stir until onion is soft, stir in corn soup and milk, heat thorough, stirring occasionally, crumble bacon and sprinkle on the top. So if you want, you can just use a dry onion, and then if you use your evaporated milk, and then it'd be 1 can of milk, you know, the same as the corn. So you would use half evaporated milk and half water, and you could add some butter if you have it. So you see how much food this is once you get these recipes and you have stuff to make bread. I think what I have discovered is get your canned food. Another thing, if things got really bad, if there was some kind of grid down, this food, some of it contains a little water. You could drink that. I mentioned the whey is like water. In the day of Alexander the Great, they put vinegar in the drinking water to protect them from the bacteria. But of course, the bacteria is 100 times worse these days. So I'm going to be working on water purification. You know, they sure like to worry about a lot of things. Okay, now here is some oysters for oyster stew. This is super easy. 1/4 cup butter and 1 pint fresh oysters, but I don't make it that way. I use smoked. 2 cups milk, 1/2 cup light cream, so you would use the evaporated milk, salt, and pepper. So what I do is I make potato soup. I cook 1 or 2 potatoes, I cover it with water, then I would add the evaporated milk, and I would add the oysters and all of the content and a pat of butter. But let me give you the recipe. You know, use what you have. Make yourself some bread or some cornbread. Don't rely on anybody except for yourself. When you get a little extra money, buy a couple of cans all the time. Find the low-cost food and stockpile that. Let me give you the meal plan. Today is Thursday, so these help a lot. And go through your pantry or your cupboards, and you probably have a lot of stuff in there. You probably might have a can of you might have a can of vegetables. You might have a package of macaroni and cheese. You might have some SpaghettiOs. You can put hot dogs in SpaghettiOs. And then Friday is going to be a fish meal. So what would be good with this is some tuna. Okay, there's that. These fry breads are delicious. I bought this today because you're going to need vinegar if you're pickling food. My homemade zucchinis that I pickled are good. Really easy to make. So you're not going to run out of vegetables because you're going to pickle them. So the thing to do now is go through your, like, one of the things I found out is I eat more corn and more tomato soup than any other kind. So I would want to make sure I had that. And as for, I don't eat that much ham because I can't find it. But if I find it marked down like I did, that gives me 6 servings. Okay, now what did I do with that? Okay, I had bought this cereal for 57 cents at Grocery Outlet. So I want to stockpile up when the cereal's marked down. Usually they have an assortment. I want to get 6 boxes of cereal. And then, you know, I have powdered milk. 6 boxes of crackers. I get an assortment and I buy them at Dollar Tree. Sometimes I eat soup a lot. 10 cartons of shelf-stable milk for $1.25 at Dollar Tree. 1 week food storage. This is a week. 1 large bag of powdered milk. I get it at Walmart. 10 pounds of potatoes and large bags of peanuts. So you have bread and you have peanut butter and hopefully maybe you have some eggs. You have some sausages. I want to make a mention about another thing about flour is if you have flour, you can make pasta. So all during times, if they had pasta, they could get by. It's very easy to make. It's hard to roll out, but it's easy to make. And so all the people I ever knew who made it, they would roll it out in the morning and then they just left it on the counter to dry out and then it was ready for dinner. Okay, now to the Mexican, remember the bag of beans, a bag of rice, and told to plant a garden. So the Mexican garden just coincidentally is tomatoes, so you can grow cherry tomatoes year round. Onions, you can grow green onions, just stick them in dirt. Squash, you get tons of seeds in your squash, just start planting them, and if some grow good and if they don't grow, not good. And peppers. One of the things in my backyard that is growing like crazy is peppers, and so I had homegrown peppers, and they really make your pickles tasty. I only eat the brine ones, but here's one of my I just put one. That's a homegrown pepper, and I had, these are good. I don't actually eat them. I could, but usually I use them to season up my pickles or my food. So they're not hard to grow. They seem to have been spared from the pests. I guess the squirrels don't like peppers. Okay, and then radishes are easy to grow year round. Celery, you just cut your bulb off and stick it in some water and it will start to sprout. Mine was about this high, more than enough for a batch of soup. Lettuce, you get romaine lettuce, you cut the bulb off and it'll sprout, and then onions. So you can get by that way. Okay, so the thing, I've been working on my food for a while. The thing is, you kind of want to have some idea, okay, what do I actually eat? What do I actually need? Another thing is, don't put too much stock in your freezer, because if the grid goes down, unless you have a generator, everything in your freezer is going to be ruined. But if it did go down, I would go through my freezer item by item, and hopefully I could pack a big freezer, a big cooler full of my meat with ice, and you can get by for that for a while. But remember, you're not going to have any electricity. But I mentioned yesterday, the grid down is bad because we're dependent on electricity and our phones and everything. But all through history, people live fine with no electricity. The only danger is if you live in a cold place and you don't have any heat. Also, if you live in a hot place, I was taking a chemistry class and it said a lot of places were uninhabitable before Freon. So I was thinking about water. And I was thinking, you know, I would really hate to drink that water, but if there's like a grid down, like if we're bombed or something, you want to take big trash cans and fill them up. Hopefully out of the tap before it stops, but know where we have so many, lakes and stuff, not that appealing to drink out of. So my son used to live in this really nice, there's this really nice townhouse that I know of, or condo. I go, that would be the perfect place to live because there's a lake, a nice big lake right in front of it. Okay, you guys, I will see you later. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And God bless you all.